Thanks for stopping by, guys, and welcome back to Scrap Mechanic. Now, today's build is going to be a bit of a goofier build. I really don't want to spend too much time on it because it was kind of something I built for fun, just for the sake of building it, and it's not practical in any sense of the word. It might be fun for some like multiplayer versus battles or something, but not really any more use than that. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the Mark IV. Not the main battle tank Mark IV, that is a different tank. This is the British Mark IV, or more specifically, a rough interpretation of the Mark IV. And the reason I had to clarify that is because while showing this to some people, I got a lot of comments saying, well, that's not right, the tracks aren't right, this isn't right. It's kind of a rough interpretation of the Mark IV. It's not supposed to be exact, and it's not supposed to be perfect. Anyway, let's take a quick look around. It's got the two big overlapping tracks like you'd expect. You got the two big cannons, one on each side. And the kind of interesting thing about this tank is it's driven completely without seats. The entire tank is operated without seats. You walk around the tank to take care of it. Like the cannon, if you want to operate the cannon, you have to walk to the cannon. If you want to operate the driving position, or you want to drive the tank, you have to walk to the front window and use the buttons. You can see the buttons that are up there. So let's actually climb into it and kind of show you how it works. You are on a tank, so you can't really see. The best way to see out is through the big, huge vision slits here for driving. And if you're in the gun, you have a little bit of a sight here. Probably if I wasn't pressed up against the tank body. There we go. Now you can see out a little bit here, and you also have somewhat of a sight here that you can use to aim. Not the best. Wasn't intended to be functional. It was just intended to be goofy, and I wanted to see if I could put two cannons into a tank like this. So let's actually drive the tank first, because that's pretty much the simplest thing here. So you have three buttons. You got your forward, you got your left, and you got your right. Each set of tracks only has one bearing on it to try and reduce the complexity of this thing. It still lags a little bit. So how it turns is it starts going forward initially, and then it crams on the brakes of one side while spinning the other. And that's how it's able to turn with a relatively decent turn radius. There are no suspension for this, and oh my god, the lag kicked in. There is no suspension for these, so you're going to have some trouble with rougher terrain. It's going to throw you around in the inside of this tank, which is, I guess, a feature to some extent. You can have some issues turning on hills and bumpy terrain. So, yeah, it's a chore to try and get this from point A to point B, but it's, like I said, it's not useful, it's goofy, it's fun. That's all this was meant to be. So that's driving. I'm not going to drive this anywhere because it's really not worth it. So let's see how you operate the cannon. There are two cannons, one on each side. These are full powered cannons. I thought about going with some like half power cannons just to make them a bit smaller, but I decided to go with the full power cannon. Like every cannon, you just put your cardboard, put your round, wait for it to stop lagging, because you can't fire these while they lag. And here's your controls. You got your right, your left, your up, and your down. You get your big red fire button. I'm going to actually move this cannon over here because I think that's what's causing some of my lag issues. Oh, probably helpful if I wasn't smacking my head against the cannon. I could probably move around the tank a bit easier. There we go. So when you're operating the cannon, you want to stand on this little piece of metal here because this moves with the cannon and allows you to move with the cannon as you press buttons. Once the lag subsides a little bit, you can press the big red fire button and it fires around downrange. And even though you do have a rudimentary sight, your best bet is to probably shoot it, look down the barrel, and see where it lands, and then adjust. To be completely honest, it's probably your best bet. So let's go ahead and shoot another round, and then we'll actually go to the other cannon. And there it goes. Yay. I'm not 100% sure what is causing the lag. I do have a few ideas. Probably the fact that this thing has like 30 or 40 bearings because of the tracks might be a major issue. But it does prove that you can have more than one motionary, I don't know where in the world that word came from. You can have more than one moving turret in a vehicle, which does give some ideas for future tank builds, but nothing I want to work on immediately. And other than that, I really don't know what else there is to show. It's a really goofy and fun idea. Like I said, it's really not practical at all. It might look cool. It might serve some use for like some multiplayer, like arcade style battles. But other than that, it's really just goofy. It's really just stupid. But it was fun to build, and it's kind of fun to goof around with. And I don't know, maybe I'll find a use for it. If anything, I learned a bit from this build. So before we end it, I just want to show something just off the normal episode. If you go into creation and you zoom out, you can't see yourself. But if you pull out your connection tool, you can see yourself in the connection lines. Yeah, this is really weird, especially if you place yourself behind something like all these red bearings or all these red points. Wait, is it only the engines? No, that's weird. Because, like, the purple connections don't do it. Huh. That's interesting. Oh, I see how it works. It's only the connections that are behind your character that allow it. Very good. You can see my character from inside the build. Anyway, that was a bit of an odd step right there at the end of the episode, but I am going to end it here. So, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for sticking around, and until next time, peace.